Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you again and again, black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello and welcome into the GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here. My name is Tom Doherty, your host. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Today, we are going to talk about a little bit more of the iOS 12 stuff coming out as we have the public beta now available. You can go out and use that beta as we'll be giving you the updates regarding what iOS 12 is going to be compatible on and such. We'll do that in this first segment with that iOS 12 stuff. Google Lens, we'll also talk about that, updates from that regarding the service that allows you to take pictures and will either look through your pictures and use this Google Lens to search out whether it's going to take pictures of a business card, of a building place. It'll give you more information. It's a pretty cool service there from Google. And then also Samsung, some news regarding their new phones and what could be possibly seen on the Samsung Galaxy S10. If we're going to get another size, or it's going to be the same sizes, we're going to get some updates with the fingerprint scanner and such. I know that Face ID is a big idea, but if there's a new news from Samsung regarding the fingerprint scanner, we'll get to that in by the back end of the show as well. So everybody lock in. We have a full show for you today as we'll get going right now with this iOS 12 beta news is available. The public beta is out and ready to be signed up for. If you would like to start using iOS 12 on your phones, you iPhone users out there, you can do that. You can sign up for the iOS 12 beta with Apple, as they have started to roll it out. Now available. We talked about a lot of the new features we're going to be seeing on the on this beta, as most of the big ones obviously are that the AR, the augmented reality, something we've seen for a while, but everybody likes that. That's pretty cool. But if you're seeing the same kind of thing with that Google Lens, it's not really augmented reality. It's still being able to kind of take pictures and manipulate them and get information from pictures, or mess around with them a little bit. So you'll be able to use that the AR features with the iOS 12 public beta. You'll be able to use that measure feature. We talked about that a little bit last week with that ability to use your phone to measure items. Very useful if you're using it to, whether you're going to purchase a new couch or you're moving and you want to see if you can fit your stuff in your new place, or whatever may have you. That'll be a cool little tool for you to use there. You'll have fun playing with that one, the little measure tool. Also, the Photos app is getting a big update, especially in the public beta is going to be a big part of that as well. As now you're going to be able to start using more smart searches for your photos, whether you're going to be going through and start categorizing your pictures in a certain way, whether it's through vacations or different trips you're going on, or whether it's a work project or something you need to use pictures for, as a sporting event, whatever you may have. You can start certain different thing with terms, and it'll be able to use certain features on the phone photos to be able to find that out for you, as now they're trying to get that iOS Photos app closer to the Google Photos. I don't know if we're going to see an Apple Lens or some sort of, that's a really cool feature, honestly. I like that Google Lens. We'll get to that more in the next segment, but with this we'll see if how it's going to be going with this iOS update, if they're going to get something like that soon too. We talked a lot about the Siri shortcuts, how big of a part that's going to be of the public beta. I don't think we're going to get quite all of it yet, but with the shortcuts, you can. A lot of it, the popular ones like Siri, my coffee. You can set up so she knows your normal coffee order. If you have I think it's compatible with the Starbucks app. You can have it send your coffee order to Starbucks. If you have the Tile app, that service where you have the little tiles on your keys, and it'll be able to have a GPS GPS ability to get to your tell you where your keys are. It'll ping that little tile thing, whether you have it in your wallet or in your on your key ring or in your purse or something like that. If you have constantly misplaced things, you can also do that. Tell Siri, "Hey Siri, where are my keys?" And she'll pull out that tile app, and it'll be able to ping where your location of your keys are. So that's pretty cool as well. I mean, there's gonna be tons of stuff. I mean, it's gonna be endless stuff like that. Where there's gonna be Amazon connectability, where it's gonna be telling you Siri to, hey, order me another pair of underwear or something like that, or another bottle of shampoo or something like that from Amazon, and it'll do an easy order on Amazon. So I know that there's lots of different things that you can have ability with that Siri shortcuts, telling your little quips and little commands, and she'll be able to do that, take it from there without asking any questions. And that's the one thing that thought Siri was missing. It was the compatibility with different apps outside. So now that they're allowing these third-party apps and these developers to get compatible with Siri and be able to get Siri to be able to access them, I think it's gonna be really cool. The Starbucks one's cool. Obviously, it's a lot of a first world kind of things where we're making our lives even easier and more efficient and stuff like that, whether you're talking to a home assistant or it's going to be Siri. I know a lot of it is going to be put into this into the Apple what it's called, it's called the Apple Pod or something like that, the Apple HomePod, as well as we're getting more. They're trying to get Siri to be able to be used by multiple people as well. So they'll have different voice recognition ability as well on the HomePod. But obviously on your phones, that's where Siri started. Siri is a personal assistant where it's just talking to you and you only, and you'll be able to have those shortcuts available with the public beta. If you want to start using the shortcuts now, you can do that as well. With this, this is all based off. This developers obviously they can all take and use the shortcuts with their apps. The Apple did acquire an app called Workflow, which is basically the creating endless possibilities for developers to connect their apps with Siri and being able to get in there and use Siri immediately. I mean, you could say, hey, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they want you. It's for me, it'd be big on music. Like, hey Siri, play Fleetwood Mac, or play Katy Perry or something like that, or play, I don't know, I don't think of random music people, it doesn't matter. But for me, it'd be music. Obviously, I'm a Spotify user, so I don't know if the Apple will be too happy about that. They probably want you to use Apple Music, so they might be a little partial to Siri's ability to go into Spotify when they really probably want you to use Apple Music, a direct competitor, pretty much. So that one might be a little bit of a tall order to ask, but there's tons of other stuff. Whether it's going to be YouTube, or hey Siri, pull up my favorite YouTube video, or hey Siri, pull up the the most watched video on YouTube, or something like that. So there's going to be tons of stuff that you can go in there and program her. Just like you would be able to with the Amazon Alexa, you can do the little routines. You can do the same things with the shortcuts here with Siri. A lot of the popular apps, obviously we talked about the iBooks, and it's going to be changed to Apple Books. Is going to be the big UI overhaul for that, as we're going to be getting a redesigned look for the iOS 12, also the voice memo app as well. They're trying to get better with the stuff and recording your voice audio as well. So we talked a lot about that, but you can get all that stuff with the public beta. So if you want to go sign up for the public beta, it is available now. Go do it. The Screen Time app, that we talked about a bunch last time, with these companies trying to get you. It's interesting. Okay, buy our phones, use them as much as you can. Now, hold on, you're using them way too much. And it's actually, they want you to lose. I talked about this a little bit last time. They want you to use the phone less, because the more you use the phone, the more battery you use, the quicker the battery gets worn down, and the faster you realize that some of these batteries aren't indestructible, and they do lose their juice, and that's why you have to get new phones. That's why the phones always slow down. That's why the throttling on the battery percentage gets all weird and everything, and you start, why did I just go from 50% to 20% in an hour? Well, how long have you had the phone for? How often do you use your phone for? So the Screen Time app is really going to try and help you manage your time, help you manage how much you're using your phone, and help you manage which apps you are using as well. So if you have an app that's a guilty pleasure app, or it's something that you probably shouldn't be doing, or probably something you do too much, you can use the Screen Time app to help police you and get you back to what a little more productive thing you could be doing, assuming that app is a waste of time, of course. I mean, we don't want to be like, I'm actually doing something specific, but of course you are the ones that you are the ones that are controlling that. So whatever you think you need help on or think you need to be reminded to not use, make sure that you can definitely be able to use that screen time. Also using the do not disturb feature as well. So you can that's a lot of stuff as well with the safe driving. It'll turn the do not disturb on while you're driving as well. So you can be going on that once you've installed the iOS, the public beta for the iOS 12. You can go to settings and then to screen time to check out all the new features on there. Notifications have trooped, so automatically now notifications will be grouped up, which is so much better. I think it's how it used to be. I don't know why it went away from it, but you sometimes lose your notifications. But they will be grouped up by app. So I don't know. I think I've had it before. I swear it had it like that. But there's it's just, they lost it. So it kind of they get when you scroll down and look at your notifications, it's all jumbled up there, and you get a bunch of different things. Regardless of app, it's all by time probably when you get a notification. But there's also a new feature called instant tuning. That's a feature in the notifications, which will let you toggle how your apps will be delivering your notifications, whether it's going to be silently or on your display or giving you alerts. I know that that's the instant tuning. I know you can go into specific apps into the notifications and actually change like whether you're going to get the badges, you're going to get the drop down banner, or a show up on the lock screen or not. You can toggle all that kind of stuff. But with this instant tuning, it looks like that's going to be a little bit more streamlined in this in the new iOS 12, also available with the public beta. So you can go on and do the same thing through settings and then go to notifications as well. With CarPlay, I know CarPlay, we've been using Apple Maps. I know I like Google Maps. I don't really use Google Maps, but now they're actually kind of meeting you in the middle, and they're going to let you use Waze. You can use Waze on your CarPlay. That is available with this beta now, the third-party app coming on. I'm sure that people are like, oh, what, you couldn't get Google on there? I don't know. They're not going to use a direct competitor we're going to let them do that, but they'll give you Waze, which I think is better than Apple Maps. It's kind of right in the. I like Google Maps, but Waze is right there, up there with as far as it goes. So you're going to be able to use your that through CarPlay as well, and have that hands-free ability. So if your car has CarPlay but doesn't, I mean, most cars who have CarPlay have nav, but I mean, if you want to use it through your phone, that's fine. I like Waze because it does report the accidents, reports police activity, reports obstructions in the middle of the road, and things like that as well. So it can you have all that how that done for you as well. So that's a pretty cool little addition. Another one people are probably really excited about. I know that Snapchat has been like, oh, they're copying us. What's going on here? I saw a whole little expose on Snapchat on how Apple is copycatting them in multiple different things. I know the big one is obviously these the Animojis and the Memojis. Obviously, we have our Bitmojis on Snapchat, which we have all of our favorite little you can change the clothes and make it look like yourself and everything, and put a baseball cap on it or a football hat or whatever you want on your Bitmoji. Now with this Animoji was what you could do with the iOS, with the new iPhones that came out last year. Obviously you can talk it and it'll pick up your mouth and blah blah blah, everything, put it in the animal. But now with these you can do the same thing, but you can start designing your own little character. You can design your Memoji. Of course they come up with a name for it that sounds ridiculous when I say it, but the Memojis are going to be something that is going to probably sweep over, and it's going to be something that's, I don't know if it's going to be as popular as the Bitmoji, but you can do that now with your iOS 12 beta, public beta. You can go in and start messing around with your Memoji and make it look as close to yourself as possible, and you can have a little mini-me hanging around your phone. You can send little cool little messages just like you would in Snapchat, as it is basically kind of the same. It is kind of the same thing, as they really are getting these Snapchat filters and as well as the video stickers along with in the Messages app, as the Messages app gets a little bit of upgrade. And then the last one that you're going to be able to use in the public beta is this is the group FaceTime. So you can go on that when you get the public beta, you can go into FaceTime, and you can, if you have friends that also have the public beta, I mean, I'm assuming they all have to have it. So you can use that group FaceTime from a group chat. So if you have group chat already in your messages, you can actually call every single person in that group chat and they can answer all at once. And then whoever's talking will actually become bigger on the screen. So you kind of all float around your screen, everybody's little, wherever they are, and their faces. And then whoever's talking, it'll pick that up and it'll make them bigger on the screen so you can see who is the one addressing you at that point. So it's a pretty cool feature. I don't know, like group chats that are like 8, 9, 10 people deep, but I mean, that'd be a fun one with friends or family or co-workers. That'd be a cool little function to be able to just hey, I don't feel like typing, let's have a little conference call right now. All of us are on the phone and we could actually look each other in the face. So that's a cool feature that I've been waiting for a little while now. We've also had a couple different of the group FaceTiming apps out there, but now we're actually getting Apple finally integrating it into the iOS and making it available with the public beta that you can download right now. Go do it. Download it right now after the show's over. After you're done listening to the show, of course. Or do it while you're listening to the show. That's going to finish this segment. We'll be right back. We'll do some talk on the Google Lens and some fun stuff with that, as it's going to be now available more on a wide range of basis as well. So we'll do that when we come back. So everybody stay tuned.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast, dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here, just going over some of the newest technology news. We have a report come out that the new Google Pixel phones will have the Google Lens uploaded on them already, as Google did come out in the last, I think it was the 2017 I/O is when they said they were going to start integrating it into the phones. Took them a year to do that, as they're going to be now putting that lens. You don't have to go through Assistant or anything anymore. It'll be right in the camera app, so you can go. I think they're allowing it. It's going to be available on pretty much every Android phone, as LG and HTC I've also got in on it, as well as the Samsung phones as well. But I think that it's a definite need that you had to do it. You said you were going to do it. The Google did, but it's a really cool feature, actually. The Google Lens feature. Haven't talked that much about it on this show as much, but the fact that you can go and you can take a photo of a business card, a landmark, a book, a plant, an animal, event billboard. And it's all kind of integrated. Whereas, say, like I said, you take a picture of a date on a billboard or an event calendar or something like that. It'll put it right into your Google Calendar on your phone. You take a picture of a business card, it'll extract the information off the business card and put it right and make a contact for it right into your phone. It's all about making your life more easier and more efficient. As I'm just waiting for Apple to get this kind of feature, as it seems kind of like a no-brainer to do this, but they're all still worried about the all AR. Make sure you have the augmented reality, and we can actually like move pictures around and things like that, make it look all 3D, which is cool and all. But actual functionality, like you can take a book, you take a picture of a cover of a book, and now you don't really have to judge it by the cover. You can judge it by the reviews that you could read, that you'll get from the information that you get about the book. You can get more details about building or a landmark that you're going to. So it seems like it's perfect for tourism, and also same thing for like a museum. If you're in a museum, a painting in a museum, you'll get more information on that, the history of it. I mean, it's great for learning as a learning tool, great as an information tool. It's great as a travel tool. So it's all these sorts of things, and now it's going to be integrated right into your camera app. If you don't have the Google Camera app on your phone already, you can download it on the Google Play Store very easily. So it'll have that Lens app in there as well. So you can just take a picture, you click or you hold the screen, and it'll give you the information when it picks up something. So it's a pretty cool tool. I would use it all the time. I don't know when I wouldn't use it, honestly. As the Google Lens, it works. It seemingly works very well, as you just kind of like hold your phone over something and it'll start pulling up some information about it. I mean, it's all AI. It's all, that's why I think Google is ahead. We can get back on the same conversation we've had a few weeks ago with why Google is leading. Google and Amazon are in first place technically with this whole artificial intelligence game, the artificial intelligence battle game, race, however you want to call it, even though I don't think Apple really sees it as that. I think that they are really more, Apple seemingly, even though they they have a tendency to seemingly look like they're gouging customers for more money by charging Apple premiums for their products and getting rid of the headphone jack or making people buy the earbuds or whatever it's going to be doing. They'll do that, but then also when it comes to your privacy, comes to your information, comes to data mining and data collection, they're very PC about it. They're very open about how secure they are. They're very open about how they don't really grab individual data points from people. They grab, if they are going to take information, they're going to take what they call trends, information trends and things like that, data trends. So where they're going to grab a massive amount of data and not look at it individually, which can be seen as some people think that's a little bit of a privacy breach. They're going to take the data and look at it from a trend standpoint of a overall kind of, just look at what's the majority looking at, or how can we use this data as a whole versus trying to get individual data points in there, which is what Google's doing. That's what Amazon is doing, and that's why you're able to feed that into the algorithm, into the AI computer, and get the faster and better results, and get your AI capabilities advanced quicker and more rapidly, because they have all this information already inside all these data points from their users. I mean, we talked about the trade-off that you have with Google and with the services it gives you for free is because it's taking your data and it's using your information to sell for advertisements. And how do you think Google makes money for Google? All these, you think Google Maps is free? You think it's free for them to run all those servers and use the satellites for this the real-time traffic and imaging and everything like that they have? No, it costs money. And how do you think you pay for it? Oh, you're by allowing Google to use your cookies and use your data to gain information on advertisements and what your consumer information and purchases in order to push forward their ad sales, which is what Google's main profit margin. It seems like their main profit source is. I mean, the first time we ever saw Google's ads were like, okay, I just went on WilliamSonoma.com to go buy this really nice pan for my mom, but I didn't end up buying it. So, and now every other website that I go on through my Google Chrome browser is going to have a banner ad on the side of it for Williams Sonoma. It will, guaranteed. You go on Amazon and you shop for something on Amazon, no matter what it was. Next site you go on, there'll be a banner ad on the side with the Amazon. Just one click, it'll take you right back to Amazon. You can order that thing. And it's making everything a lot easier for everybody, but it's also getting to a point where, is this bugging me? Is this annoying me? I know that Google Lens is going to be a situation where it's not going to be in your face. It's going to be there if you want it. That's why I like it, and it's very usable and helpful when you do want it. It's not going to be in your face, but it's also all a product of Google's main thing, which is the trade-off between the data it's going to be taking from you, the information it's grabbing from you, consumer information, consumer habits, consumer trends it's grabbing from you, and turning that into money and revenue for them. And then in return, they do give you services like Google Drive, Google Chrome, web browser, Google Maps, obviously Google Earth, all these different things that they have. YouTube, honestly, now they're really trying to get money out of that. But remember, don't forget, guys, YouTube is owned by Google. So all this stuff that you see, YouTube TV, YouTube Red, YouTube Prime Music, and everything, that's all powered by Google behind it, because why do you think they're trying to? I mean, they definitely took their time in laying the groundwork. They've owned YouTube for, I think, probably, a few 5 or 6, 7 years now. I think they've owned YouTube, so YouTube has been a subsidiary of Google. So you could tell they're definitely taking their time, but now rolling out the YouTube TV, rolling out all this cord cutting services. They're finding that this platform is just at the infancy stages of what it can do. I think the same thing with what a lot of the services with the AI stuff, with Google Lens, with what they offer from the AR department, all their AI things with the the home kits, what are the VR kits, basically. Everything's going to be kind of pushed to the next level within the next few years here. And it's all starting with that AI information. They're starting to optimize all that data that they have and putting it to use. And it starts with the Google Lens. It starts with the Google Assistant. It starts with the Google Home, Google Home device to get that Google Assistant. I mean, they didn't even put a name on that thing. I don't like calling the Google Assistant anymore. Can we start getting names? Everybody sent GSMC Technology on Twitter. Please tweet in your best names for the Google Assistant. What should we call it? I think like Lucy or something like that. Because we have Alexa, and we have Siri. Everything's so chic and new. I think we should go like old school and go like Lucy or Lucille or something like that. Or Olivia or something like that. I don't know. There's a cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be a girl name. Honestly, it could be a guy name. Stefano. There you go, or something like that. No, that's a little out there, but no. I think they should, or you should honestly Google have us being able to name ourselves. You should be able to, when you buy a Google Home, you should be like, what do you want to call me? Like instead of having to say, hey Google every time, you should be able to. Well, maybe we're getting rid of that now with the constant conversation. We talked about that a little bit last week, but the idea of Google and all these AI stuff, you think you can't assign a name, you can't give your assistant a name, you can't tell it, hey, remember this, I'm going to call you this, and it will file it away and know that that's its name from now on. So I think that's the next thing, Google. I'm giving you your next idea. Figure out a way to let us name our Google Assistant, so we don't obviously have to do it when we have an Amazon Echo, because we already know the name of it. We don't have to do it when we have a HomePod. We already know the name of the AI service. I want a name for the Google Home, or let us come up with our own names. Gertrude, how about that? There's Gertrude. I like Gertrude, or Victoria, or Vicky. There you go. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Call it something cool though. This is supposed to be the Google Lens, Tom, isn't it? No, we're talking about everything Google. The Google Lens just being one of the newer updates to the reports coming out, at least, about the Google Lens and how it will be available on the Google Pixel phones, as well as being available for the third-party developers to put into their phones as well, with the Android operating system. Obviously, no Apple. I don't think you can go on the Apple Store and type in Google Pictures or whatever it is, and it'll Google Camera, and it'll actually let you download it. Hold on, I'm going to check. I just need to find out. I doubt it. I know you can definitely do Google Photos. There's there's no Google Camera. You can't do Google, nope. No. Yeah. So yeah, Google on your Google phones, whether it's a Pixel or the new Pixel coming out, or I don't know if Samsung's grabbed onto it yet. I know I saw HTC and LG definitely are going to be trying to get this, are going to be getting this, and it's going to be on the Play Store, and you're going to have the Google Lens right in there. I think it's just such a great tool. It can be used so many different things, whether you're shopping, it's for a business tool, a tourism tool, a learning tool, anything, entertainment tool, whether you're trying to figure out like a movie or a person's name or something like that. You could probably figure it out. You point at somebody's face, it'll pull up their name, or searching. It uses an image search, basically. It's kind of like a quick reverse image search. So I mean, take a picture of something and actually put it into the image search service they have on Google. You can do that. It'll just do it in real time, which seems very, very interesting and very cool that they're going to do that for you, as it's going to be available. I'm trying to see if what they're going to say is going to be Pixel, and okay, so it looks like Pixel and then Nexus Android. I think that they're also trying to get it to go with the so Pixel and Nexus will be able to work with this as well. So it looks like LG, Motorola, and Sony are also looking to get this as well. It's going to be available for those third party developers on some of their devices as well. So yeah, that's what I thought. Not Samsung yet, and looking like Motorola and LG and Sony. So yeah, there you go, for the Google Lens, as you'll be able to do that very soon here on those when all those updates come out. That's the time of year we're getting into. We're getting to the end of June here. We're getting into August. We're going to start getting our MacCon developer conference for Mac, and we're going to get all the update release dates for the new phones, release dates for obviously the beta is already out, so go get your iOS 12 beta out there for you iPhone users, for you Android phone users. You can look forward to the Google Lens, unless you have a Samsung phone, of course, and you'll have probably something similar, you'll get the Google Lens eventually. Just not seeing any reports that Samsung is getting in on it yet, as well as this is, like I said, it's an exciting time of year. New phones coming out. We're going to get probably lots of pre-orders, lots of long lines. We're going to wait and see if we're going to get an iPhone. I think we're going to see an iPhone 10 Plus this year, as well as some of the new features we're going to see. We've talked about with iOS 12. I know a lot of them are going to be available now for the beta. So I'll wrap up this segment right here. We'll come back in on the other side of the break and do some talk on the new Samsung phones, the Galaxy S10s, which to be expected on those, and some review of those the betas for that as well. So we'll be seeing those coming out sooner rather than later. I think those are going to be coming out before the iPhones. So we'll do that on the other side of the break. So stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here as we get some talk on the Samsung Galaxy S10. As there has been reports out, Samsung has not requested that the suppliers create a iris scanner. So that's what you use on your that's what Apple uses for their Face ID technology. Obviously it's an iris scanner, which is why you can make any face. You could be wearing face paint or whatever it is because it's just looking at your eyes. But yeah, using an iris scanner to open that phone up. But Samsung say no to that. Samsung says no. They didn't ask the suppliers to develop a iris scanner for their phones. I think they're trying to go away from the face recognitions at all because it's going to require a front camera. It's going to require a front camera, and it's going to require a fixed front camera, especially for every single time. Imagine if you had to use one of those recessed cameras or the ones that pop out of the top of the phones every single time you have to open your phone up, let alone take a selfie or something like that. We talked about that a little bit in the last show, how that is probably the coolest, worst idea of 2018 are those recessed cameras. But Samsung is doing exactly what I thought we're going to go towards. If we're going to go towards a full screen phone, you're going to have to figure out a way to get a fingerprint scanner underneath the screen. You have to do it. I know they did it on the Vivo. They had it on they just had a big would come up as a big little field for you to put your finger in the middle of the screen. That Vivo Nex phone was able to do that, but they had the recessed camera for the selfie. So I'm still not 100% sure if they're going to be able to get a camera underneath the screen also and have that kind of work out well. But I know that's where we're kind of being headed to, is having a fingerprint scanner under the screen. They're going to go, I think, whether it's going to be keeping with, Samsung's not going for the facial recognition, obviously. They still want, they want to have both. It looks like it's going to be Samsung. They do want to add the 3D as well as the in-display front in-display fingerprint scanner. So they have right now, obviously, we know that the fingerprint scanner for the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S8 are on the back of the phone. So it's like the ones in the back, but they found that obviously with the increased size of phones, not everybody has the same size of hand size, so we have to figure that one out. With left-handed people had a little bit of an issue. I'm actually left-handed, so I've never tried I never knew that was an issue. I'll have to try and see if it's Samsung. It actually is an issue, but there is that 3D facial recognition. Last year, they do want to have. Is Apple, do they use the 3D recognition or do they use the iris scanner? We'll have to figure that one out. But the Face ID, I think, is actually 3D, which wouldn't, I don't know. They said that you can wear anything you want or have face paint on, it'll still pick up your phone. But so, I mean, whether it's the 3D imaging or iris scanner, doesn't matter. It's all for face technology. That's going to be so it says that biometric authentication. So for the iPhone, whether they're using it's a type of biometric technology that's going to be. So yeah, one uses a 3D map for your face, and one is for the retina. So it has two sensors, actually, two modules. One does the grid of the infrared dots on your face, and the other looks at the pattern to confirm or deny access. That makes sense. Okay, there we go. So it's not your retinas. It's actually your. And it's going to be using your 3D facial map, and it's going to be, it stores it in the into the device's processor. So there you can use so it's still going to use sunglasses, hats, scarves, makeup, doesn't matter. You can change with a beard, doesn't matter. So I mean, obviously you have to have your eyes open. I think you still have to have your eyes open. It doesn't work when your eyes are closed. So it uses your infrared dots on your making a face map of yourself, whether it's all the nooks and crannies of your face as well as your eyeballs. So yeah, not quite using the retinas iris display reader, as Samsung is thinking about doing that. But they're going to go the same way as Apple is, do that 3D face ID, 3D face scan, and then also they want to have the Touch ID as well. I don't know why they need both, but they feel like they need both, as it's going to be the new phones with that. They're going to try and get that in-screen display as well. So it looks like that we have another report from Korea, obviously, Samsung is a Korean company, Korean developer. They're making the two 5.8 three models actually for the Galaxy S10, a 5.8 inch model, two of them, and the 6.2 inch model. So it looks like that there's gonna be the two 5.8 inch. Like, okay, why are they making two phones the same size? Because one's gonna have an extra camera. Whoop-de-doo. One's gonna have, sorry, I'm just like, I know it was a big deal when the 7 Pluses came out. Oh, they have two cameras and everything. It's great. It's gonna be able to do the portrait mode and everything. Okay, I don't use it very often, but the most basic phone, which is this the 5.8 one, normal, will have the single camera, and the mid tier will have the dual camera, and the 6.2 inch one, the bigger one, will have three cameras in the rear of the phone. So they're going to get some real I mean, it's crazy now. It's just how it's crazy now. I know that the fact that we're getting a couple different reports from this, so these are all rumors still. We're getting them as they come out here, and you can take them all with a grain of salt, to take it how they are. You can obviously do all your own research, but we're getting the reports here that there are going to be three different phones, as well as a kind of the same emoji. I mean, seeing the Animoji as well with the Samsung Galaxy S9. We saw that same thing, but now we're going to get that even better on the S10 as well. We have that the 5 inches, 5.8. So we have two. The thing is, that's the two reports. One report says there's going to be two phones. The third report says there's going to be three phones. I've actually heard a secondary source saying that actually the three phone out release is actually more accurate, because they do want to have that mid tier level. Obviously, why wouldn't you want to do that if it's really going to cost that much to throw an extra camera in there? If you want to give people options, you give them three options, not two options, and they will be a little bit more. I think if you give them more options, people like options, so they're maybe more inclined to make a purchase, whether it's going to be the lowest tier or the highest tier. I don't think Samsung really cares, as long as they sell more phones, especially after the issues they've had with the batteries. But I know that this is what we've heard lately regarding the Samsung Galaxy S10 and how it's going to be coming out. I think that's what do they say for the Samsung Galaxy S10 release date? We get a date yet for that? I'm not sure. I don't think we got to delete that yet for that, because they're already still kind of we're already still kind of getting a all these reports on how many are even going to be released. I know that's, so I'm seeing this is actually my third report saying now there are going to be three devices, as the code names were Beyond 0, Beyond 1, and Beyond 2, which will all 2 of them will be the same screen sizes, and then there are going to be 3 different camera developments. So if you want 3 cameras, you get the big one. You want 2, you get the middle tier one. You want 1 camera, you get the small one. It's actually kind of funny because with the camera phone and everything, the fact that we have, I remember we had to go take a picture with my phone, your flip phone, you can take a picture with it. Yeah, it was all really cool to get in there. But now it's like, it's all about photography. Like you can take a class to take photography with your iPhone, that you can go on. I think Apple now actually has tutorials on their website that's how to shoot with an iPhone and take really good photography. I mean, some of these pictures you see with people taking with iPhones and their smartphones in general are amazing. And I just was watching, actually, I have a tendency to watch The Office, the NBC sitcom. It's been off the air for a little bit, but one of the most watched comedy shows ever. And there's a scene where one of the characters wants to take a picture because he's leaving for a long elongated trip, and he has a crush on one of the other employees at the office, and he wants to take a picture, and he doesn't have a camera. She's like, I'm like, do you have a camera? I'll take a picture with you before you go. And he didn't have a camera. He literally had to go to the store and buy a digital camera. It's just so like, wow, that wasn't even that long ago. That was probably a decade ago. Not even a decade ago that we didn't. It's probably a decade ago. Thinking about when that episode was aired, but probably between the 7 or 10 years ago, it's just like nothing. We were still on big hunky digital cameras, and now I know that you still want you can get a nice DSLR camera, Canon or a Nikon or something like that, and take some amazing photography with that high speed of photography. But I'm not saying that the iPhone's better, because it's not. I know that it's not better, but the fact that you can get so close, the quality is not that much worse. I can go to a sporting event, I'm taking pictures at a soccer event or a flag football event, where I just press my camera. I can turn my phone into a high-speed camera if I wanted to. You can do bursts. You can do slow-mo and take screenshots of it. All of that takes away from the photo quality every time you take a screenshot, but you can do freeze frames and stuff like that as well. So the fact that we're getting so close to the technologies on our phone, we're now 3 cameras on the back of a Samsung Galaxy S10. What's it going to be? Eventually the whole back of the phone is going to be a camera. There's little gadgets you can put on the back of your phone now to enhance the camera even more. The third-party things you can get on there. You can get little underwater things for it. It's endless. It's absolutely endless. What you can do now, and it's going to keep going. I think that I'm actually more excited for what they're going to put in the phones, like the operating systems. That's why iOS 12 is going to be awesome. I'm excited for iOS 12. Excited to see how Google Android P is going to come out and compete with iOS 12 with the features they have in there, with the AR additions, with the increase in the phones, Google Lens, everything like that. Hopefully Apple will get something similar to that pretty soon here. But you can change the outside of the phone, the bezels, the Touch ID, the cameras, the face recognition, blah blah blah, everything that you want. I'm going to put a case on it anyways. I know it's a beautiful looking device when you take it out of the case, but I'm going to put a case on it anyways. I want to know that what's inside the phone, all the day-to-day functions of the phone, the features of the phone are going to be at the highest quality, and we're getting there. We're getting there. I know I talked about a very, very run-of-the-mill thing with the cameras and how we've evolved with these cameras, and it comes to a point where we're worried about every single little pixel and dots per inch and everything. It's dots per square inch and everything like that. So the more vivid the picture, the better. Obviously, I know that, but look and see what it's already been done. Look and see how far we've come. Look and see how poor Toby couldn't take a picture with Pam until he went and ran and got a digital camera from his house or from the show, from wherever he got it from for the show. It's crazy. I just realized that because I watch it all the time. It's like, he probably has a camera on his phone, but it's probably crummy. Imagine if it was this year. It'd take about all of 3 seconds selfie, or have someone take a picture of it with the front camera. I mean, now the back camera, our front cameras are getting so good these days. Now it's just you don't even need to ask people to take a picture for you anymore, unless you want to get a full background and everything. Selfies can be a little close range, obviously, but it's crazy. Selfie sticks, everything like that. The GoPros. I'm surprised GoPro hasn't made a deal with somebody yet. I don't know. GoPros are awesome. I love a GoPro. We have to do a segment on GoPros here eventually. Maybe when the Hero, we're on the Hero 5 or something like that. Hero 6 coming out soon here. Those are really fun cameras for action thrillers and people who are. I mean, I know that it's really been a evolution. If you haven't gone and watched the new Planet Earth. I think it came out 2 years ago. Planet Earth 2. They did a second installment of this Planet Earth, and it's just so much different than the first one. I mean, the first one they went and looked for these snow leopards, and they could barely get an image of them. They got like maybe 30 seconds of footage because the guy had to go out and camp out there for weeks to get a picture and get a footage of this snow leopard. Now with sensors on your cameras and little cameras you can stick in the middle of a rock and hang and up in the nook and cranny where the animal can't see it, and it'll be triggered. They trip the motion sensor and the cameras can start filming, and then when they don't have any motion for a certain time, they stop filming. They upload the footage to a satellite. You can literally just leave the camera there indefinitely. Never have to go get it. Never have to go recover the footage. Nothing. You just go. It'll be uploaded to the cloud. I mean, that's how far we've come these days. It's a really cool. Some of the footage they got out there with those GoPros and these stationary cameras. They were able to sit out there and put that motion sensors on them. It's amazing the tech we're getting, and it's going to be even further. We're going to go even further, and we'll be here along the way to talk to you about it. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and bounce around a few things. I know there's some Fortnite updates to go through with in your gaming world. I know we're still only a week off from E3. It was only last week, I think, or a week before that. We're still some stuff coming out from that, as gaming is a year-round industry always, as we wait for the next big thing to come out. I know next February is going to be a big month in the gaming world. So we'll be right back, so everybody stay tuned.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Technology Podcast on a Tuesday today here, first show of the week, as we come to you Tuesdays and Thursdays every week here at the GSMC Podcast Network. Final segment of the day today here, as we've gone through a couple different big things and our reports out regarding the iOS 12 public beta, which you can download now on your phone. There is a new reports, conflicting reports, I know right now, but starting to become more and more clear regarding what kind of models we're going to be seeing from Samsung and the Samsung Galaxy S10. I think it's going to be early next year when that comes out. The Samsungs are, I mean, we always know September is the month of Apple. September is the month of Apple, and I think the S9s, they don't really have as big of a hoopla when it comes to those, but we're going to be getting there pretty soon, and we're going to be finding out exactly what we're going to be seeing from Samsung the next time they come out with some phones. The Samsung Galaxy S10, as we're at 10. So I mean, Apple skipped 9, right? They went 10. They went 8 to 10. Do they skip 11? Or I don't know. That's actually the more interesting thing for me. I know the phones are going to be cool. I just want to know what they're going to be called with the next name. They big deal last year when they did the X. They switched over to the Roman numerals really quickly on us there, Apple. All right, so with some reports from Fortnite here in this last segment, the dreaded shopping cart is back. By the way, guys, so the the one vehicle on Fortnite is that shopping cart, and it is has returned, whether it's popular demand or just was they're messing with us with their over there at Epic Games. But it is back. It is going to be re-enabled in Battle Royale across all your platforms, your Switch, your Xbox One, PS4, PC, mobile, wherever you want to play Fortnite. You can get in your shopping cart and go for a ride. As they did share the news on Twitter, and of course, this sparks. That's a beautiful thing. I have to go in another little thing. Beautiful thing about Twitter in these days is that you literally. I mean, could you go talk to Bungie or to Ubisoft or whatever if you really wanted to have like? I mean, no, now you can actually because of Twitter. Twitter has really knocked down this barrier between whether it's a gaming developer or it's a retail company or anything, any kind of service or company that is creating a service for you or a product. You can now just directly go talk to them. You go talk to them. You know who's really good on social media? Wendy's. Quickly, just Wendy's is really good on social media. They're hilarious. You have a problem with Wendy's? Tweet at Wendy's, and they'll probably respond to you. Really cool on social media. Domino's, same way. A lot of food service companies have really gotten into social media. So you have to hand at Fortnite. Epic Games using that Fortnite handle on Twitter has really been able to get information out there. They announced the fact that the shopping carts are going to be back. They announced it on Twitter. They get, of course, probably. I mean, I can go find out. I mean, that's the thing. I can go on my Twitter right now, pull up the Fortnite tweet, and find out how many damn comments they have on this thing. They have so many comments, probably, and people, whether it's they're asking how long it's going to be available or giving their takes on how they like the service or not, the shopping carts. Look at it. Shopping carts have been re-enabled. Look, this was an hour ago. They actually tweeted this. 2,800 replies. And that's actually kind of low, knowing how many people play this game. 20,000 likes. But that's in an hour. In 1 hour, almost 3,000 people have already commented back and said whatever they're going to say, whether it's mumbo jumbo or it's no thanks, don't want that, or they like it or not. But so giving their obviously. Social media can be a pit of despair sometimes, where you find some people who don't really need to be on social media, or I don't really need you to say that. It's like, sorry, or it can breed some nasty things. But there's always light and dark to everything. I mean, I'm not going to poo-poo social media when it comes to this stuff. It's like I said before, it's a great connectivity piece. It knocks the barrier down. It makes things more transparent. It gives you more connectability to a big company, makes it more relatable. You can go, if you actually have a real complaint or a real interesting thing to say, they'll probably will reply to it. They'll probably see it, especially if you tag it correctly. There are jobs being created by Twitter and by Instagram, by social media for other companies. I mean, social media director, when was that ever a job? 20 years ago, 10 years ago? Never, ever. Now most big companies have multiple people dedicated to their social media image and to their presence on these sites, because there's just so many: Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Well, if it's a specific, it's not tech companies have to deal with different outlets, whether it's like Wired magazine or different news outlets with Google in general, like that. So I mean, it's all sorts of stuff you have to deal with for image-based stuff, and it's all sparked from social media. It's all sparked from being able to be right there next to the public. You got to be careful on Twitter, because Twitter there's no filter on Twitter. There's no eyes to look at. When you tweet something, it is gone. It's out there, and you can delete it in 30 seconds if you really want to, but I bet you somebody saw it already and screenshotted it, if it's that worth screenshotting. I bet you. So, I mean, I can be a sports guy and bring up one of my favorite lines from a sports coach, and that's Herm Edwards, and he always says, "Don't press send." Don't press send. So it's whether it's an athlete, it's a celebrity, or it's a tech company, you have somebody in charge. It might not be it's the big name on top of the account. If you went on Fortnite's account and said a bunch of weird stuff about players' unknown battlegrounds, you can spark a 3-week or a week. 3 weeks is a long time, because it's just nobody has attention span that long anymore. But a 2-day war on Twitter, basically, about people just back and forth, yelling at each other. Not that they listen to each other or anything; they just want to put their 2 cents out there. But it's still hilarious and honestly amazing how you can go literally look at every single comment and every single thing that somebody has to say about one thing. So the fact that they announce that update, obviously I'm sure it's on the game as well, the fact that they have the shopping cart back on there, but this is just crazy that they're uploading it on Twitter and it's going like that viral. It's been 1 hour. I mean, I can update it. I bet you we could try and find how quickly it's actually influxing. So let's see, that was an hour ago. Let's reload this. An hour ago. I want to reload this. Now it's at 20. Now it's at 3,000. There we go. So we're at 3,000. We're almost getting to 2,000 retweets. Is going up by the minute. So it's just crazy how everybody's. I mean, they have online players all the time around the world. This number is probably going to be way higher pretty soon here. But going off of the thing that people don't really respond as much as they like or retweet or something like that. But this Fortnite, the fact that they're getting in on the social media, they're using social media to advance their game. They already know they have one of the biggest games and the biggest game in the world right now. And they still are connecting with fans and connecting with each other as people to bring information or bring people together and try and pump up some. I mean, it's a video game. They're almost like they're putting things out there like they're selling them. I mean, I think they do. I want people obviously to play more and more. The more they play, the more money they spend. But you got to give credit to Fortnite and everything because they are very, very good at social media. All right. Another thing I wanted to get to and talk about was some other stuff regarding some more phone stuff and how they're going to be changing around different layouts of phones. I know LG says that they're doing 5 cameras on the V40. So the LG V40 is going to be the flagship phone coming out from LG. The Life's good guys, but that V40 phone, they said just, you know what, we're not going to see we see your 3, we see your 2 cameras, we see your 3 cameras. We're not even going to worry about 4 cameras. We're going to go 5 cameras on this V40, as this is obviously the most ever cameras on a major smartphone. As I know we had that Huawei P20 Pro, which was the first major smartphone to have that triple camera system. That's the one that came out. I think that's another Korean or Chinese phone to come out. But the HTC U12 Plus will have dual cameras also on the front, just like that, just like the V40. So that HTC U12 Plus was the first phone to have that 2 cameras on the front. Now we're going to have that on the V40 as well. It'll have that 3D face mapping as well as everything. So it looks like it's going to look similar to that G7. It's going to look, kind of like, the G7 ThinQ. It's a pretty cool looking phone. It's going to be looking kind of close to that V40, but it will be a little bit larger as we'll get that Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, everything you need in there as well. So those are actually good processors as well. So you got to like LG. No, not quite getting the same press and pub that you get from Samsung and Apple, or even Google. Which you kind of give Google. Google came in late. What are they? They've had 2 models, Google Pixel 2, and now Google Pixel 3. They've come in and they've really, the Windows fell flat. The Windows Phone did not work out at all. The fact that Google Pixel has been able to come in, I think you actually came out with a quality product. You're going to sell things. The Google Pixel came out and just took everything. I wouldn't say took it by storm, because it's kind of hard to get into this Samsung Apple world where they kind of rule everything. There's obviously LG and Samsung. LG and Motorola trying to get in as well, and HTC as well. But the fact that Google has been able to create their own phone, even though they already have multiple carriers that have their operating system on it. They created their own phone and they said, you know what, we're going to make our own phone. We're going to make a good phone. We're going to make it look just kind of like and work just like the iPhone almost. Take a little page out of their book and roll with it. And it actually really works. The fact that they've, we saw Windows Phone just go hello and goodbye. And the Google Pixel has quietly turned into a phone that we talk about on a daily basis here, because it is a quality product and is going to compete, I think, especially in the long run. I think it's going to compete well with the iPhone and maybe even push Samsung over on the side, as Google could. You never know what they're going to do. Obviously, they have the rights. I don't know what the deals are. If they're all of a sudden, you know what, we're not going to let you use Android anymore. We want to just use it for our phones only. You guys come up with your own operating system. I mean, imagine if that would be a very interesting thing to happen, but I would not put it past. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, because when you like Apple, they make their own phones, they have their own operating system. Google obviously they get paid a lot of money, but if it's costing them sales from the Google Pixel, you think that they would try and get people to say, hey, if you want this operating system, you got to buy it on this phone. I know it's kind of unruly or ruthless in general, but and to say the least. But I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I would not be surprised. I think they're happy though with the money they're getting from Samsung for letting them use their service and their operating system. All right. That'll wrap it up for today as we come to the end of the show. On a Tuesday, we'll be back on Thursday for another edition of the GSMC Technology Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy the show today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, GSMC Technology, as we always get to our Samsung phones, Apple News, whatever you need to do. We're going to start getting into the nitty gritty here. When I get closer and closer to August, we're going to start getting more stuff from the iPhone, more and more leaks. We love leaks on this show as we get to talk about it for a while. And then obviously as everything gets going with the beta of that iOS 12 public beta is out right now, so you guys can go sign up for that once you're done listening to the show in a few seconds here. So everybody, we'll see you on Thursday. Enjoy your week, and we'll be back and talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.